I know that the program was promoted as we were going to talk about the top 25 hair transplant surgeons in the world. But I think that this is actually a decent, segue into that. Because,
intro is, segue into that, exactly.
Because the reality is that I think the reason Joe wanted to talk about that is because there was an article that just came out by a colleague of ours in the UK, Spencer Spex Stevenson, who also co-hosts a program in the UK. And, he was asked last year to write an article on the top 5 hair transplant surgeons in the world, but he was able to get the top 20 hair transplant surgeons in the world. And this year, for 2020, he was able to add 5 more. The editorial board of this publication allowed him to do that. But the biggest problem is that the physicians in this field don't recognize that it doesn't matter who's listed on this fucking list. It's essentially created to provide information to the public about the reality of this industry, how fucked up it is, how unsafe it is. And this was an editorial piece that was written by one person. 99% of the surgeons out there, in my view, I mean, that's why the IHS is so small. They suck at what they do. They are misleading the public, in my view, by their advertising. That's been scaled to a degree that is damaging so many people. There was a guy that contacted me, 2 people, which is interesting. I was contacted at the beginning of the week about someone who is utilizing the IHS seal and the American Hair Loss Association seal, who was not endorsed and recommended by us. And then a friend of ours from this show had a friend who went to this particular plastic surgeon for surgery and noticed that this particular plastic surgeon was using our seals. So that was twice in the same week.
Interesting.
And I'm sure he's going to call in, even though we have no lines lit. I'm not even sure. I have to be honest with you. I've been having trouble with the phones. I cannot hear a dial tone, but I have been able to receive calls. So let me give out the phone number again. We have lines open. It's 888-659-3727. That is 888-659-3727. I need a haircut. Give me a call. Give us a call to talk about anything and everything hair loss. But also, let's talk about. Well, first of all, Joe, I want you to talk about the top 25 hair transplant surgeons in the world, which happen to all be IHS members. Well, I'm going to say one thing. In 2019, about 6 months ago, I was contacted by one of my members. 2 of them went nuts, but one of my members who was just livid that he was not listed in this article, that he somehow believed that I wrote, because he did not read the byline, that it was the other Spencer that wrote this article. And then when I explained to him that, well, look, I can't control what he writes, he's like, well, they're all IHS members. You mean you had nothing to do with this? I'm like, no. That would be professional fucking suicide for me to have something to do with this, to somehow separate out of my 70 doctors 20 guys who are better than the rest. And B, Spencer Stevenson has a fucking mind of his own. He doesn't work for me. He's his own man. He does his own thing. I could use some help here, Joe.
No, that was good. That was a great start. But there was another doctor that was saying that he was actually going to be damaging his own reputation by putting out such a list, because he didn't include this other doctor.
Oh, that's Spex was, yeah.
Yeah, the Spex was. First off, kudos to Spex for being able to get this kind of article out. It's a great accomplishment to be able to get such a powerful article out there, and the exposure for doctors that he feels are the top 25. Now, here's my take on this. Do I have an issue with any of this? And the answer is no, even though I may not agree with every doctor that's on the list being a top 25. I do agree that they all deserve to be on such a list because of this one reason. They are doctors that understand the value of educating their patients, surgery is the last resort, and not jumping the gun just to get them in the door into the chair so they can have another surgery. In other words, they don't look at something like this being involved with as a lead generator. And that's what's great about this. I think that when you have doctors that are IAHS accepted members like these are, that helps to set them apart on their own, and then to be included on this list, I think that it helps to highlight the message that such a group of doctors revolves around more than anything else.
But do you know, and you're right about that, and I appreciate you saying that, and I'm sure that Spex does as well. But the reality is, when the first article came out, I was like, holy shit, this guy actually put IHRS almost as though it was their letters behind their name, MD, IHRS. But, just put IHRS member on, listed it on every goddamn, name. Now, I'm pretty sure the editorial board made that happen, and that Spencer or Spex said, look, these are all IHRS members. And the editorial board thought it would look better because they're designing the blog.
Yeah.
But I can't even tell you the fucking fallout of that. As opposed to people saying, you know what, I would like to take this time to congratulate my IHRS colleague, Dr. So-and-so, for being named one of the top 20 or top 25 physicians in the world. And then the list of, Bald Truth Talk and the Bald Truth, you were named in the article. I mean, all the real resources out there. And including the IHRS where all these doctors are listed. Because I know that if it was my partner or my colleague or someone in my own town, I would write a public post. I mean, if you want to pimp yourself out, you write a public post, wherever this is, on the fucking article itself. Well, where was it? It's Ape to Gentleman. In the comment section. Yeah. And congratulate those doctors who are part of it. And other people will see you if it's all about your visibility. You know what I mean?
Actually, that's a great point. And the problem that we're going to see is that maybe one or two doctors will do that, but I doubt even that'll happen. But that's the thing. It's like that. I was actually talking about this in our WhatsApp group with all these doctors. That too many times, doctors in this industry are playing the short game. They're looking at what's in front of their face instead of understanding the value of being strategic with what they do, what they say, how they act, and how they behave. And this kind of reaction that you and I think would make a lot of sense, it doesn't register with them. Because in their mind, they're either pissed because they're not on the list, they're pissed because they don't feel like these other doctors deserve it, or they think that if they were to actually step up and say congratulations to any one of these guys publicly, that it would detract from their own business. That they would have doctor or patients saying, well, maybe I should go to this doctor because the doctor that I'm considering congratulated him on being listed top 25. It's nonsense, because if you did your job educating the patient, they wouldn't want to go anywhere else to begin with.
100%.
So,
100%. It's insanity to me. It's all fucking ego. It's ego-driven. I don't understand it. And, honestly, look, in my mind, all I would have to do is look at my fucking bank account and realize, well, I am top. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of doctors out there that are doing extremely well that were not named in this list. Why the fuck do they care?
Because they're not doing extremely well.
One guy in particular who was complaining has done very well for himself over the years. The other guy, who's actually a real politician who contacted me, I don't know what his situation is. I mean, I think that he may be at a point where he's struggling. So things are a little tough.
All right. Well, for people that are asking, the list of doctors is down below in the description. It's on a website called Ape to Gentleman, which is men's grooming website. And Spex, he's been a part of their I guess, I don't want to say writing staff, but he's been a contributing writer to Ape the Gentleman for at least a year, maybe longer, because I think that he was writing some blog posts. But if you go through it, I mean, he's got 25 listed. You got Dr. Scott Alexander. You've got Dr. Ken Anderson, Dr. Edward Ball, who is a doctor I work with. There's also Dr. Alan Bauman, Dr. Bhatti in India, Dr. Bisanga in Brussels, Dr. Scott Boden. He's not a name that you hear very often, but he's been an IAHRS member for, I believe, several years, and he is in Connecticut. Of course, we got Dr. John Cole, also a hair transplant mentor doctor. So is Dr. Jerry Cooley. We got Dr. Robert Dorin in New York. Of course, Koray Erdogan in Istanbul. Dr. Bijan Feriduni. It's not a name that we're hearing much lately, but he's a really good doctor, also in Brussels. Harley Street Clinic. Dr. William Lindsay in Virginia. I think he's near Washington. Dr. Emran Lupanzula, the oldest member of Hair Transplant Mentor, also IHRS member. Dr. Patrick Mwamba. A new addition, Dr. Sever Mercenou. He is in Switzerland. He's a fantastic doctor. Another really good doctor is Dr. Alba Reyes. She's in the Dominican Republic. I've met her before. She's been all over the place training with different doctors. She's someone to check out.
You know what's great?
Of course, Dr. Ron Shapiro.
She's a recently accepted IHRS member.
Yeah, she's one of the newest ones, I believe.
Yeah.
Dr. Giza Sikos in Hungary. He's been around for a while. Dr. Robert True. And then it's going to be a tough one. I just call him Dr. Thidawat. He's in Thailand. Dr. Thidawat Werodrachchakul. Don't ask me to say that again. Just Dr. T. And of course, Dr. Jerry Wong, right here in Vancouver. And Dr. Amir Yazdan. And then Dr. what's his name? Svetlin Zarev. This guy does the largest FUE cases on the planet. Period. And he's on the list. So that's it. That is the top 25 for 2020. And if you got any comments, got any questions about it, give us a call. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, guys, 888-659-3727. I just asked you in the chat to give us a call. We have a lot of people actually who are watching and listening. I can see who's listening through iTunes, Stitcher, Radio, iHeartRadio. We have a